off, then you might all be cut off. But don't worry, just try to join again. But that kind of thing sometimes happens in eWorld, yeah. Maybe partly because the connection here is not very good. I'm using the VNPT company do the modem and the Wi-Fi, which is okay, but it's not super wonderful. So it could be that, or we could have an electric power cut, or all kinds of things can happen in eWorld, yeah. So if we get cut off, just try to come back again, but it might take 20 minutes or something. eWorld is like that. You can be the equivalent of abducted by aliens, which I didn't used to believe in, but it happens on the internet because problems happen. So let's hope there are no problems. I was okay yesterday for the similar class to this one. So if it's like that, then it should be okay. But I just hope that you can speak loud enough, because my speakers are not very good on this. I could use the headset, but I'd rather do it like this if it's okay. So just speak a little loud. Not because of my hearing, because of the speakers on the computer. 2 months ago, they decided they're getting old and they're fed up, so they don't work very well. But we should have a real class. It's gone 1:30, yeah? 1:33. We should have a real class next month. So I think we have 3 classes like this. And, it's a bit more difficult on the internet. It's not just the problems I was talking about, but we cannot do the kind of things here that we can do in a real classroom. So, for example, I cannot get you to do group work and say, oh, you 3 or you 4 work in a group, because it's too difficult like this. And then if people are talking at the same time, it all comes through and we can't know what's going on. So I'll just give you a little opportunity to say things. If you have a problem, you can say things, you can ask questions, but there is not so much interaction as in a real class. So we'll just have to suffer it a bit for 3 classes. Actually, that's an idea. Let's see if I can put the timetable up, which I think is this one, yeah. Okay, let's try and do that. Now, can't remember if it's a window or a tab. Oh, it's a window. Okay. This one. Let me see. So I am sharing this. So you should be able to see go backwards and forwards now. You should be able to see the timetable here. That's for our class, and we are number 1 at 01. I also have a Monday class, which is O2, but we are O1. And our time is 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. And here is, can you see that? Here is our timetable with business, English, and Nicholas, that's me, afternoon. So we have a class today on the 15th, and then the next class is number 2 is next Tuesday on the 22nd, and the next class, number 3, is March the 1st. And I think March the 1st is still Internet World. Do you know about that? I think they actually start on March 6th or something. Well, actually 6th is a Sunday, maybe March 7th. So I think we've got 1, 2, 3 classes. Whoops. We've got 1, 2, 3 classes on the internet in eWorld. Oh, did I knock out the presentation? Looks like it. But anyway, are you okay about that? We have 1, 2, 3 classes on this in eWorld, on the video thing, Google Meet. And then I think number 4, which will be what, March the 8th, Tuesday. I think number 4, we'll have a real in-person class. So in that case, I'll see you in the, what is it? What's the number? 23 or something. What is it? Namamu Street or something or other like that. Yeah. Let me get it back. Present cylinder. So it's this one, yeah. So yeah. These ones. So I think we have 1, 2, 3 classes online, and then we go back to in-person teaching on March the 8th, well, March the 7th probably. Back, but we are on Tuesday, so March the 8th, which for us is number 4, so that's not too bad. So I just have to, it doesn't actually have the address on here, does it? But it's in that main building in District 1, isn't it? Okay, so yeah. So it's not too bad. I just have to do 3 classes like this. It's more difficult with the Monday one. They have to do 4 because they have an extra class, because I think the Hun King's holiday or something, they have an extra class. So, okay, it's not too bad. We'll just do 3 like this. I mean, it's a little more difficult than having a real class because, you know, we can't do group work. I cannot give you much opportunity. We'll probably have a few students who might say something and a lot of students who hardly say anything. But, you know, that's the best we can do like this. So anyway, if you have any problems, if there are things you don't understand, please ask a question. Yeah? You know, if you don't understand words, you can say, what does blah, blah, blah mean? And there will be some words that you might not understand, and I'll probably point them out. So, okay, I did our schedule. Everybody happy about the schedule? I have to do the attendance. I am not, what's that word? I am not super strict about people coming exactly on time. How many we got now? 27, including me. So maybe we are missing 2 people because I have 28 on the student list. So okay, we are 1:30 to 4:30. Let's do the attendance at 3 o'clock, okay? So make sure, I'm telling you that to make sure you are here at 3 o'clock. You know, you don't have to be here the rest of the time, but I think it would be a good idea if you are still here, you know, from 1:30 to 4:30, but you do need to be here at 3 o'clock because we'll do the attendance. And as you know, there are some marks for attendance. Also, what else? Also, they say that there are marks for participation and homework or some kind of thing like that. But, this course is 10 classes, isn't it? So it's not very long. So I'm not really going to give you very much formal kind of homework. I'll tell you at the end, near the end of this class, I'll tell you some things that I might want you to do for the next class, things like that. And I'll kind of put them together with the participation mark. And so just try to keep up with what we are doing. And if you're not sure, please ask a question. Okay, so attendance at 3 o'clock. Make sure everybody's here then. Talked about the schedule, talked about the marks. Yeah, okay. Do you know what the textbook is? Let's talk about that. So that's this one there. Business 2, pre-intermediate. Let's try and put that up. Okay, so you should be able to see that, yeah? The Business 2.0 B1 pre-intermediate students book, John Allison and Paul Emerson. So we're going to use that. Published by Macmillan. It has these basic, they call these modules, and they are contained, you can see that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are 6, but I can't, because I've done it fairly big, because, I have bad eyesight. If you want it even bigger, I could do, but then it's more difficult because we can't see very much. But okay, there are 6 kind of modules in each unit, and there are 8 units. We are only going to do the kind of introduction stuff today. So I won't even do Unit 1, but I'll get as far as Unit 1, I hope. So the modules, it says 1 about business. So there is some business language, and you might not understand all of it. So if you want to, please ask a question if you're not sure about something. The vocabulary, the particular words, the grammar is the usual kind of grammar stuff. Speaking, writing, and case study. They are the 6 things. You can see that. Yeah, okay. They are the 6 parts of each unit. And there are 8 units here. Today, we are only going to do that top little thing where it says Business Fundamentals, page 6 to 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9. We're only going to do those 4 pages. But we will do from next Tuesday, we'll do Unit 1 and so on. And we'll finish it up in the remaining 9 classes. So Unit 1 actually is on 2 pages. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, the business vocabulary grammar, which is called Gaining Experience. Then on the next page, that's Unit 1 again. I'm going backwards and forwards to check you can see it. Okay. Number 4, speaking, and then writing, and then case studies on the next page. And then Unit 2 is about customer satisfaction, telephoning and things. And then these other things, products and interviews and marketing and entrepreneurship. Oh, and business costs and global trade. So they are the 8 units that we're going to cover in those 2 pages here. I will do some of the recordings. As you can see here, if you look in the middle of the page, it says the recordings are actually on pages 140 to 149. So you can actually look there and look at them if you want to. But I don't think I'll be looking at them unless I get stuck with something I can't understand. But usually I can understand it, so okay. There is a glossary from page 150, and that is a little useful. I might look at that once or twice. Because, there are some business words, business phrases, and sometimes we don't know what they mean. So have a look in the glossary on page 150 as well. Any questions so far? So actually what we're going to do is we're going to start here on page 6 with this thing, Business Fundamentals, and we're going to do this. And it's about 4 pages. And it has some of the basic important, words and so on that we will use, and it gives you an idea how the book works. So if you're not sure about anything, please ask a question. Everybody happy so far? Oh, I got a few people already dropped down, 22. Oh, 22 others. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. 28, including me. That's not too bad. So we're only missing one person, I think. Yeah. Everybody happy so far? Any questions? So Business Fundamentals. These 4 pages are giving you the basic stuff, which is important. Yeah. And top left corner, it says business activities and sectors, and it says collocations relating to business activities. So, do you know what a collocation is? Anybody tell me? I'm willing to bet that nobody actually knows what collocations means. Anybody know what the word collocation means? I think nobody knows. Because it's a difficult word. It's the kind of word we use if we know about linguistics, but... So actually, collocation just means a phrase. Things like go up or go down, or I've been studying the weather and it says rain showers today, maybe. Haven't seen any yet. It looks fairly sunny still. But that's a collocation. It's a phrase, yeah? Does it still say that? Yeah. Muarau. 20%. Maybe that's a 20% chance of rain showers. So, that's a collocation. A collocation just means a phrase. In this case, usually business-type phrases. So there are some common phrases that we should know, that's all. Let's have a go at doing the first thing here. It says discussion. Now you can't do it with a partner because we are eWorld, so try to do it by yourself and then I'll tell you after a little what it should be like. Match these are kind of collocations, there are words or phrases here. Match these words or phrases to the pictures, yeah? So in the box here, it's got advertising, agriculture, civil engineering, construction, healthcare, manufacturing, mining, oil and gas, software, transport, okay? I want you to match those 10 phrases to the 10 pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So see if you can do that. You can see them, yeah? Can you see the pictures? Okay. I've made it fairly big. If I make it any bigger, then it will cut off some part of it. So I think this is the biggest I can make it in practice. So try to match those phrases to the pictures, and I'll give you a minute or 2 to do that. If you have finished, then please tell me and try to tell me the answers, okay? This is something I want you to try and do. So you have to do it by yourself, really, because eWorld, we cannot do much group work. See if you can do that by yourself. Match the phrases to the pictures. If you don't know one of them, then just do the other ones, and then you might find it fits in. Anybody finished yet? I mean, it's not difficult as long as you can see the picture and you know what the word means, then you should be able to guess. Any questions about, the words themselves? No? Anybody finished? Can anybody tell us 1 or 2 of them? Anybody want to tell us? Let's start at the beginning with number 1. What do you think number 1 is?
I think number 1 is healthcare, teacher.
Yeah, it looks like that because there's a person who could be a nurse or something holding up something, looks like some medical device. So yeah, healthcare is a good guess. Healthcare. So that's a kind of business activity. You might notice it's not only business. I mean, healthcare is a little bit more than just making money, but it's one of the kind of business activities, yeah? Okay, how about number 2? What's number 2? And why do you think it's agriculture? There's a cow. There are 3 cows, yeah? They go moo, So usually, do you have a? Oh, some of you are on the farm. Yeah. Do you have a cow on your farm? Yeah, I didn't think so. That's why I'm asking, because a cow is quite big. Yeah. So if we have a big farm, I mean, I grew up in the countryside in England, so there were quite a lot of cows there. But you need a big field to keep a cow because it's big, and I don't see that many here. So if you have a big farm, yeah, you might have cows. So agriculture, okay, I should shut up about that now. Number three, if any questions, please ask questions. Number three, what do you think number three is?
So for number three, I guess it's manufacturing,
Why do you think that?
because I see the worker are like they separate in the for different tasks, and I think they are working in a factory to make a product. So
Good, that's a good answer, yeah. They are making something in a factory, yeah, good. Now, number four is a little bit, maybe a little bit confusing. I wasn't sure what number four was. Can you have a guess and tell me what do you think number four is?
I think it's software.
Can you say that a bit louder?
I think it's software.
Software, yeah. Why do you think software?
Because I see a computer, and yes, I think software.
It looks like a computer, and in fact, it looks like pictures, yeah, like photos, like images of something. So
Yeah.
sometimes we do this on the computer. We look for pictures that we can use. Well, I do. Yeah, sorry, because this computer of mine is a little old and the speaker doesn't work very well. The last 2 months it decided it had enough. So it's not just because I am old, but the computer is old and the speaker doesn't work very well. I could use the headphones if it becomes a problem, but I think if you speak loud enough, it's okay. Okay, so I think number four is software, yeah? Is that the word? Yeah, software. Okay, number five. What do you think number five is?
I think number five is mining.
Mining?
Yeah.
And what kind of thing do you think they are mining?
I think they wearing clothes like miners. Like they have.
Oh, they're wearing clothes like miners. Yeah. What mining is when we go deep underground and we try to drill for something. What do you think they are looking for?
I think
they're looking for
What?
jewelries like diamonds, like and emeralds, something stuff like that. Or
Yeah. Yeah, it could be some kind of metals. When I was younger, they used to do a lot of coal mining in some places. They don't do that so much now because what? Because it's a fossil fuel, yeah, and they're trying to encourage people to use other sources of energy. But they used to do a lot of coal mining, and it looks a bit like that in the picture because it's black and looks like it could be coal or something. That used to be the main thing they would drill for. But other metals as well, like the rare earths and things they use in electronics, I think they come from mining. So still we have to do something like that. Good. Number six then. What do you think number six is?
I think it's transportation.
Transport. Well, why do you think it's transport?
Because I see a van later delivery something, so I think it's a
What can you see in the picture?
I see a van.
Oh, you call that a van, do you?
I don't know what to call that. I think it's a van.
It's a
Or
van,
something
is
like
it? I'm asking these stupid questions because, okay, so I ought to ask you, what do you study? Do you study American English or British English, or what do you usually study? Because I think this book is actually, isn't it a British English book? Can't see from the words. Yeah, so, I mean, I am from England, but I haven't lived in England for over 30 years. And I lived in South Korea for a long time and worked there because I could earn good money there. But they are not interested in Brit. They only want American English. And they said, teach them Californian English. Yeah. So when I did MA, a master's course in South Korea, so they are only interested in American English. So I kind of got used to using their words, even though I've never been to America. So in America, I think they call this a truck, don't they? Or in fact, I think they call that a tractor trailer or something. But we can call it a truck or a tractor. Tractor means the front part and trailer. Or in Britain, they actually call it a lorry, which nobody knows if you don't live in Britain. It's a lorry. So it's a truck or something like that, or a tractor trailer. Anyway, it's a means of transport of transporting those containers, yeah, because they put those containers on ships and then they drive them around. So okay. So that's another part of business. And then number 7. So I mean, I'm only saying that because when I was in South Korea, I did MA there, so I had to use the American spelling and their conventions. So I got used to doing that. So usually I do that. And because most of the people I knew, in fact, were Americans. But in Vietnam, we kind of get half, and well, we get some from Britain, we get some from America, we get also more people from Australia here. So there are all those different and other countries such as Philippines and India and other people, yeah. So they all have somewhat different words and so on. But we can just be aware of that, I think, yeah. So tell me if I'm saying strange things or something, yeah. But I think most people in Vietnam, they study American English, don't they? But having said that, a lot of these textbooks might be printed somewhere, so they might use American conventions, or a lot of them are actually British, but okay. Okay, so number 7, what is number 7? Say that again. Adventistic. You mean advertising? Advertising, yeah? Yeah, because we can see big company names like, I can't actually see them, TDK or something, Sanyo. I used to live in Japan for 5 years, and I lived near the Sanyo company, but it had kind of become disused by that time because a lot of Japanese companies moved out of Japan because it's expensive, and they went to countries like Indonesia or Thailand, or now they come to Vietnam as well. And to some extent, similar with South Korea, a lot of their companies come here because it's a lot cheaper than being in their country. But okay, but they are big company names, so advertising. How about number 8? What is number 8?
I think it's construction.
Construction, yeah.
It's,
Why do you say construction?
because I can see worker construct something, maybe a house.
Yeah, it might be a building, and they're wearing a hard hat on their head, yeah, so that's like a construction worker. Okay, good. And number 9, what do you think number 9 is?
I think it's oil and gas.
Can you say that a bit louder?
I think it's oil and gas.
Yeah, why do you think it's oil and gas?
Because I see that the rigs are taking the oil from the seabed. So I think oil and gas.
Yeah, it looks like what we call an oil rig, and that's a kind of platform for drilling. And often it's in the sea, yeah, because the oil and gas is often, not always, but it's often under the sea, yeah. So that looks like an oil rig, a kind of drilling platform in the sea. And actually it has that, what do you call that, the burning thing that burns off some of the excess gas you can see there. Okay, so the last one then, number 10. What is number 10? There's only one phrase left. What is number 10?
I think that's the civil engineering.
Yes.
Because that's deal with the design and the construction and maintenance of the physical and natural built environment. Yeah, including public work such as roads and bridges.
Good.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a pretty good answer, yeah. Yeah, so civil engineering, you mentioned the word public. That deals with public types of construction. So we have number 8 is construction, where they're making a building or some private concern. Civil engineering is usually a public works, as you mentioned, bridges and roads and big buildings like airports or things which are for services for the public, for people. That's civil engineering, yeah. So everybody happy so far? That's just some basic business activities. Oh, and there's a listening thing here. Now, it wants you to put these pictures, I better keep them here, put the activities into the boxes here. And there are three sectors. There's the primary sector, and that means extracting raw materials. And then there's a secondary sector, which means manufacturing, making things. Yeah? And then there's a tertiary sector, where tertiary means the ordinal number 3. Yeah? Tertiary sector, which is commercial services, and there are 4 boxes for that. So 3, 3, 4. Can you put the numbers in the correct boxes? Now, if you're very clever, you can just do that now. But to help you, let me play you the recording. Tell me if you can't hear it. 1.01. I think I can just play it, and you should be able to hear it. 1.01, is that the first one here? Yes. Okay, listen carefully.
Business 2.0, Pre-Intermediate, by John Allison with Paul Anderson. Class CD 1, Track 1.
So we can divide all business activities into 3 sectors. In the primary sector, we find activities that extract raw materials from the earth or from the oceans. These are businesses like agriculture, mining, and oil and gas. The secondary sector covers activities like manufacturing, construction, and civil engineering, building roads and bridges, for example. Finally, in the tertiary sector, we have commercial services such as advertising, healthcare, software, and transport. Now, let's go to...
Everybody, could you hear that? Yeah? Okay, what did he say is in the primary sector, the 3 things that are connected with extracting raw materials?
So,
Primary sector, yeah.
So what I heard from the audio, that they say that the primary sector include oil and gas, mining, and agriculture.
Yes, that's good, yeah. So things that we get from the ground, or under the ground, or in the ground, or so oil and gas and mining and agriculture, they are primary. And then the secondary sector, making things. What 3 things did he say are in the secondary sector?
In secondary sector, I heard that there are manufacturing, construction, and civil engineering.
Okay, good, yeah. So that has to do with making things. Manufacturing in a factory, constructing is making buildings, and then civil engineering is public works, which means bigger types of things, bridges and so on. Okay, so the tertiary sector, what are the 4 commercial services in the tertiary sector?
Well, we have advertising, healthcare, and software, and finally is transport.
Good, yeah. Advertising, healthcare, software, and transport. Good. So that's kind of basic. Everybody happy so far? Right, so we got to number 3, where it says this word, collocations, which, if you remember, just means kind of phrases. On the left, there's a glossary. Do you know these words? Extract, mining, monopoly, profit, raw materials, supplier, USP, value. Do you know those words? On the left, glossary. Any questions?
So teacher, I'm not very sure about extract. What does it mean?
Okay, that's a good question. Anybody tell us what that means? What does extract mean? Anybody give us an idea? Okay, we'll have a look at the glossary in a minute and we'll see what they say. But usually, extract means that you take something out of, for example, out of the ground, yeah? As in coal mining, you extract the coal from under the ground, or precious metals or something. Or if you go to the dentist, pull your teeth out, that's also extract. But okay, in this context, probably it means things that you get out of the ground. But actually, that wasn't the word I was thinking of. There's one acronym there. Does anybody know what USP means? Because actually, I didn't know that a few days ago. What does USP mean? Anybody know? It is one of those important business acronyms, USP.
Is it using same font? Using selling
That's
font?
a good guess. That's a good guess. You using
Unique selling
oh
font.
unique. Well,
Unique.
you're a good student. Yeah, it does mean that. Yeah. Okay, this is why that's a good answer. This is why it's important to know about where glossary is. The people who don't know those things. Let's have a quick look at it. Page numbers are not quite. I got it. Okay, not quite the same, but yeah. Okay, what does it say in the glossary? It says extract to remove a substance from another substance. How about USP? That's in the black here. It says unique selling proposition or unique selling point. So that's an important term in business. The thing that makes a product or service special or different from the other things. So it's a special thing. So we need to have that. We need to have a unique selling point in order to tell people, you know, our product or our service is wonderful because blah, blah, blah. It does things that other similar products don't do, for example, yeah. So it's important to have a unique selling point. So have a look at the glossary sometimes because it has those kind of definitions. Okay, we got to number 3 then, the collocations. Can you match? It says in each set of 4, match 1 to A with A to H. Notice it says a set of 4. So I think you can match 1, 2, 3, 4 to A, B, C, D, and then you can match 5, 6, 7, 8 to E, F, G, H. So we can do it in 2 bits like that, yeah? So if you are very good at it, you can probably do this, yeah? Let's try to match 1, 2, 3, 4 to A, B, C, D. So number 1 says sell to, what do you think, which letter is that? A, B, C, or D?
I think it's D. Sell
D,
to a customer.
A customer. Sell to a customer. Okay, that actually looks right. Yeah, I think so. How about number 2? Buy from.
I think buy from the supplier.
So that's A, yeah, buy from a supplier. Looks okay, yes. Number 3, make.
Maybe make a goods.
Okay, that's what we do in the factory, in manufacturing. Make goods, yes. And number 4, provide.
Last thing is provide a service.
And notice that it's a plural. It says services. So provide services.
Provide services.
Yes, good. Okay, that's good. Let's try to do the same thing with 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 5, make.
I think it's make the profit.
Make a profit. Okay, good. That's what the business tries to do. Make a profit. Number 6, face.
I think face competition.
Yes, good. That's what happens when other people make similar things to you. You face competition. Number 7, develop. Number 7.
I think it's develop a market.
Good. Yeah. Develop a market. Because if you have a business, you need to find customers or other people that, for example, retailers or whatever. You need to find people that you're going to sell your product or service to. So you have to do that over time. You look for them and you build up a kind of market. So yeah, develop a market. That's an important idea. And so the last one, add. What do we add?
We add value.
Add value, yeah. And what does that mean? Remember the 3 sectors here. In the primary sector, that means we get raw materials and we change them into some kind of product, yeah? Well, or into something we can sell. In the secondary sector, we actually make things. What is the secondary sector? We make things in the factory or something, or construction or civil engineering. Yeah? So we make things that become more valuable than they were before. And then in the last thing, where it's a service, we do something, we advertise, what are the other things? Transport, and we transport things, we advertise things, we do healthcare or something, and what's the other one? Oh, software. We add those kind of extra things, the services, And again, we improve, we increase the value of something. So add value is also an important concept in business, from the raw material to a product to something that we take to the customer, something like that, add value. Okay, every business needs a USP. Can you remember what USP means? Go on.
Yeah, so USP stand for unique selling point.
Yeah, good. Unique selling point, or what's the other word? Unique selling.
Proportion.
What?
Proportion.
Promotion?
Proportion.
I forgot myself now. Yeah, proposition.
Yeah.
Proposition. So that's when we say something, yeah? A proposition. Okay, sorry. So unique selling proposition, but it's easier to remember it as a unique selling point. Okay, so unique selling proposition, yeah. Okay, they want you to put the collocations in numbers here. We just did 8 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get you to put them in the spaces. So you have to do the whole collocation. So the 8 things, just to recap, the 8 things are: sell to a customer, buy from a supplier, make goods, provide services, make a profit, face competition, develop a market, and add value. Those 8 collocations need to go in these 8 spaces. So the first sentence has nothing, is already as it is. Yeah, there are many different types of business. Maybe somebody can read the next clause, means as far as TVs, where there is a semicolon. Anybody want to read that clause and put the first collocation in the space? It's getting a little more difficult, yeah?
So what happened is some make goods like cars or TV, others provide services like healthcare or education.
Well, that sounds pretty good, yeah. Some make goods like cars or TVs, others provide services like healthcare or education. Okay, let's see if that's right. So we need somebody else now to tell us about the next sentence, yeah? Many businesses work in the same way, and then they transform materials. What can you say here then for 3 and 4, yeah?
So okay.
I think that they transform materials that they add value into something more valuable that they can make a profit.
So you're saying they transform materials that they add value into something more valuable that they can make a profit. I'm not quite sure about that. They transform materials that they into something more valuable.
So teacher, I have a different answer with high answer. Can I give you my answer? So you can.
Yeah.
So from what I wrote, that they transform material that they can buy from a supplier into something more valuable that they can sell to a customer. Yeah.
Okay. They transform materials that they buy from a supplier into something more valuable that they can sell to a customer. Yeah, that fits a bit easier. Let's see if that will work. And then we need to go to the next 1 or 2. In other words, they blah blah to the original materials. If they continue to find new customers, they can blah blah. 5 and 6. So we're saying the same kind of thing in different words. So it says, in other words, you're explaining it. In other words, they blah blah to the original materials. If they continue to find new customers, they can blah blah blah.
I think in other words, they add value to the original materials. If they continue to find new customers, they can develop a market.
Yeah. In other words, they add value to the original materials. If they continue to find new customers, they can develop a market. Okay, and then we just have two more, the remaining ones. If they control their costs, they can blah, blah, blah. But in the modern world, almost every business must blah, blah, blah. What's that? Number 7 and number 8. How about number 7 and number 8?
I think if they control the cost, they can make a profit. But in the modern world, almost every business must face the competition.
Yeah, that seems to be pretty good, yeah? If they control their costs, they can make a profit. But in the modern world, almost every business must face competition. Monopolies are very unusual. A business can sell to other companies, B2B, business to business, or to end users, B2C, business to consumer. But it always needs a USP to succeed, a unique selling point. Yeah. Any questions about that? Everybody happy about it? So good. That seems you can understand it. That seems a good idea. This is only the first page. You see, I'm a bit slow. Yeah. Let's see if we can do it quickly. The discussion topic here, number 5. Now, we can't do it in groups, but I can get some people's opinions. So I don't think we can do list 4 important business activities, but you can tell me one, yeah? I want you to tell me one business activity. It says in your country, region, or city. So some people are, where are you? Because I am in District 8 in Ho Chi Minh City. Are you in Ho Chi Minh City, or are you near Ho Chi Minh City? Any people a long way away in Da Nang or Hue or Hanoi or Phnom Penh in Cambodia? Any people a long way away? So maybe not. Maybe most of you are in the Ho Chi Minh City or near the city. Means 100 kilometers or so less. So you can tell me possibly about business activities in or near. I mean, near could be 200 kilometers or more, depends what you want to talk about. Can you tell me about some business activities in this part of Vietnam, for example? I mean, you have to answer these 6 questions. What is the activity? What sector does it belong to? Is it B2B or B2C? What competition does it face? What is the unique selling point or proposition? And how does it make a profit? Can you tell me 1 or 2 business activities?
Teacher, so during the Tết holiday, I came back to my hometown. It's in Cần Thơ. It's in the west side of Vietnam. So my grandparents own a farm. And we no, it's not farm. Like we own a land and we grow some flower and some fruit like watermelon to sell on the Tết holiday. So I believe it will be considered as primary sector, which is agriculture. And I think that it will be to B2B, business to business, because we did not sell our goods with I think we make goods. It's not good. We wrote some products like fruit or flower, but we didn't sell directly to customer. We sell it to another the market. The people who work in the market in Ho Chi Minh City, and they will sell directly to customer. So I think it's B2B. And so what competition there is face. So so my hometown is Cần Thơ, so there's a lot of people who own their land. They're also a farmer, and they also they have their own land, and they also own a lot of other beautiful flower or other food. So I think that and I think that the competition here is quite huge. There's a lot of people wrote the same thing during that time because they know that the customer desire, the people who live in Ho Chi Minh City in Saigon, they desire to have some beautiful flower for to decorate for the holiday, and they want to have watermelon to do for their family doing the same thing. So the only thing that can make it different, like the technique or Yes, so that's what I get. So what's yeah, so the USP, the unique selling point is my parents does not use, they have been a farmer for more than 30 years, and they want to grow organic fruit and flower. They do not use chemical substances. So I believe that that's why more people will buy our product. That's what I think. And how does make a profit? Yeah, how does make a profit? Okay, so this one I'm not really sure about it. We just okay. So I think that my grandparents also selling some of the fruit, some of the product to the other people working in Saigon, so they can sell directly to people who live here. But other thing that they can also sell their fruit, vegetable, flower in the people nearby. There's a market in Qatar, so we can also sell it. And I believe that's what is not make profit. I'm not sure about it. Yeah.
Yeah, any comments about that? I think the making a profit, it's important to talk about the costs, because there are costs to grow the things and then to distribute them, to give them to distributors or transport and other things. That's a good point about the chemicals, because we have some garden on the roof of our house to grow some vegetables, because people are scared about artificial fertilizers or chemicals that people use. Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah. Anybody give us any other kind of business activity? I mean, it used to be the case that Vietnam was very agricultural, yeah? So still they export a lot of rice and coffee. I mean, I know the Can Tho area because my wife from Can Tho as well. But also, you know, they have the Cao Nguyen area, the highlands, where they grow all the coffee and other things, which they also export a lot of. So there are a lot of those agricultural products. But also nowadays, I mentioned that some companies come to the industrial parks around the city here. Do you know any other businesses that operate here? I mean, now they make, what do they make? Smartphones, and there are still factories near across the river from where I live that make clothes and footwear and other kinds of simple manufacturing. But now they have also more electronic goods and other things that are made in the industrial parks and so on. So there's quite a range of different businesses more now, yeah? Okay, that's a good example. Anybody else got any examples about that?
So
I mean, go on.
yeah, so teacher, I believe that nowadays a lot of young people using TikTok to make viral videos. So I think that quite like a business activity, and it can be considered as commercial service as a tertiary sector. Is that right?
Tertiary sector, yeah.
Tertiary sector. Yeah. So
have you made a viral video?
Not yet. I'm not very good at anything. Yeah, I'm not very good at making video or dancing or singing. So, but I have seen my friend do it, and I think that is it belongs to B2C? Is it B2C business? Is it business to customer? So if you're making a TikTok video, if you are working,
yeah, it's more of a service, isn't it? So but on the other hand, you're if you do it for the I guess it's direct to the customer then, because if they get a lot of views on the video, then you can get advertisers and you can become one of these influencers or something. These people that have a lot of advertisers can make money then, yeah. But it's, you know, it's some people can do that. It's like becoming a famous singer or something. You need to have a talent for it, and you need to be lucky, and you need to be in the right place at the right time, and so on. So yeah. That's another type of thing, yeah, business service. Okay, so yeah, we're going to look at business organizations here. Look at the top left of the page. It says types of business, organizational chart for a limited company. Can I get that in the right place? Okay, so yeah, there are 5 pictures here. Look at the descriptions of the types of business organization and match them with the photos. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you match them to A, B, C, D, and E? Can you see those descriptions? Yeah. these are different types of businesses. So, for example, number one, I'm just checking the time, so 7 minutes till the attendance, okay? Okay, not too bad for people. One person owns and controls the business. Is that A, B, C, D, or E?
In my opinion, I think it's a sole trader.
Yeah, okay, sole trader means usually there's only one person. Well, what kind of business can you see in the picture?
It's in the barber shop, the hairdresser. How can we call a person who cut another, working at a hairdresser?
Yeah, what can we call that kind of person? Yeah, the picture here is a little funny. Because, you know, in Vietnam, usually they have men to cut the men's hair, and they have women to cut the women's hair. But in this picture, it looks like a woman, and I guess the customer is a man. So it's a bit mixed up, yeah? So if it's just men, usually we call it a barber shop. I mean, the people who cut the hair anyway, barber shop. And sometimes they have extra services, like the people who do their ears or something, which are sometimes women, yeah. So, but okay, but if it's a woman's place for cutting women's hair, then we usually call it a hairdressers. But in Britain or maybe in America, they are a bit more mixed up. So it could be women cutting men's hair or even men cutting women's hair now. So a barbershop or a hairdressers. But any kind of small business like that is usually the number one type. And then number two or more people own and manage the business. Which one is number two? We had A, so it has to be B, C, D, or E. Which one is number two?
I think D, a partnership.
A partnership, D, yeah. So if you look at the picture in D, what kind of business do you think that is?
I believe it's a dentist. They are dentists, and yeah, yes, I think that's all.
Yeah, okay, it looks like that, I agree. So it could be a dentist or some kind of partnership where two people or something work together, yeah. So that's the next kind of business. You have a sole trader, and then if it's a bit more complex, like a dentist, then you could have a partnership. And then number three, so it's not in order, okay. Number three, several people are shareholders, and each owns a part or share of the business. The shareholders are sometimes family and friends. What kind of, which one is that?
So for me, I think is it a private limited company? Because they say the shareholders are sometimes family and friends.
Yeah. So okay, that is the kind of next step. Sole trader, partnership, private limited company. I'm not sure what the company is there. Looks like a car sales business, but any kind of bigger business can become a private limited company, and they have to have the chairman or a director or something, and they have to register themselves. So that's a certain kind of business, and their friends or family can be shareholders. Okay, good. Number four, this is a large company. Anybody can buy and sell the shares on the stock market. What one is that?
I think it's a public limited company, and in the picture, this is a British multinational grocery located in UK, United Kingdom.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so when we get to big companies like Tesco, I mean, what do they have here? The one I go to here is the Korean or Korean-Japanese one, the Lotte Mart. They have those kind of companies here. Or there's a Japanese one called Aeon, and some other ones like Big C. I don't know who owns Big C. Is that owned by a Thai company, or I'm not sure. They have other big kind of public companies. So when it's a public company, it's not just friends and family who own the shares. It's traded on the stock exchange, and they have to have at least 2 directors, and there are stricter rules for the public company. Good. And that's number 4, yeah? And then number 5, this is a joint venture between a local entrepreneur and a well-established business. What picture is that? Number 5.
I think it's the franchise.
Yeah, B, a franchise. They've got a picture of Dunkin' Donuts there. I'm not sure if they have do they have a Dunkin' Donuts in Vietnam? I don't know very well because where I live here, there are no foreigners live here, and so they don't have many of those kind of franchises.
They used to have a lot of Kingdom shop in District 1, District 3, District 10. There's a lot of it. And, yeah, and I think after that they didn't make a really good job, and they low it down. There's a shop here. They lost a lot of shop, the Kingdom shop. That's why.
So what is the good franchise now in Vietnam?
Coffee or Starbucks.
Oh, the coffee shop things, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm not sure, I don't know very well. My least favorite business is the D one, the dentist. Because in Can Tho City, a lot of the poorer people, they have no teeth or they have black teeth or something, and they only go to the dentist when they need their teeth pulled out. So I'm a bit scared of going to the dentist here. So when I have been to the dentist not so long ago, maybe a year ago, so I actually went to a franchise dentist, which is called what? It's the Kim Dentist, what they call here. They have a franchise. Sorry, I was trying to look for it because I've forgotten the name. So what do you call that? The Chikwa or whatever it's called, Kim Kwa or something like that. Nyakwa, is it? Maybe. So yeah, Nakwa Kim. There is a franchise dentist, Nakwa Kim, which actually they have one near the Lotte Mart in District 7, because I had I had 3 teeth that I had to have fillings. So actually I went not to the, there are a lot of dentists are partnerships, but I went to the franchise one because I was worried, oh, the dentists here, I don't know them. So I don't know whether they just pull all your teeth out. Somebody told me you go to the dentist, you come out with no teeth. But that's probably because that's what they do in the countryside still, where they don't often go to the dentist. So yeah, I went to the franchise dentist, but if you know the dentist, maybe you can tell me a good one. But okay, they are the different kinds of businesses, sole trader and partnership and franchise and private limited company and public limited company. That's important. Maybe you can do number 2 then. Oops, I ought to do the attendance. I said I'd do the attendance at 3 o'clock, so it's 3:05. So let's do the attendance and then we'll do that number 2 thing there. Yeah, okay. So including me, we've got 28, so I think 27 students, yeah? So can I do the attendance? Maybe one person is missing. Okay, I've got it here. Okay, let's put it on the picture. Here. So, what do you say? If I read the attendance names, what are you going to say? I mean, there are 2 possibilities here. If you are here, and, if you are not here, then you cannot say anything. But if you are here, what do you say?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
Present.
Yeah, so I can think of 3 things you could say. Some people just say yes, or you can say here, or you can say present. If you are not here, then you cannot say anything. But one of your friends could tell me about a student. They could say no, or not here, or absent. So maybe you can tell me if the person is not here. You can tell me. One of you could tell me. Yeah. So okay. Maybe I'm supposed to write 15 or something in this box. Do you think? Today is the 15th. Yeah. Okay, so like that, you can say yes or here or present, or somebody can tell me if they are absent, okay? Okay, so let's do that. This class is not too big, 28. I've got 28 on the list. If you are not on the list and you are here, tell me, and then I have to add you or something, yeah? Okay, let's see. So, Lei Vu Ya Bao
Present.
is here. Okay, so let's write the P for present. Chan Suan Yuen.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, you are here. Nguyen Ngọc Han.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, present. Nguyen Đức Nam.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, here. Nguyen Ngọc Minh Thử. Where is Nguyen Ngọc Minh Thử? Anybody know about Nguyen Ngọc Minh Thử?
Oh, yes, teacher.
Oh, you're here? Are
Yes.
you Nguyen Ngọc Minh Thử?
Yes.
Oh, you're here. Okay, good. Vô Thi Than Hẳn. Vô Thi Than Hẳn. Where is Thi Than Hẳn? Absent. Vô Thi Than Hẳn. Anybody know about Vô Thi Than Hẳn? Is she absent? Is that a girl, or I never know really? Is he or she absent? Vô Thi Than Hẳn. Do we think absent? Vô Thi Than Hẳn? No answer. You don't know? How about the names? If I want to, wait a minute. If I want to show everyone, I'll do it like this. I'm just checking the names. So I don't think there is a Vô Thi Than Hẳn. Anybody know about Vô Thi Than Hẳn? She has no friends? He or she? Can't see on the list here. So we think that Vô Thi Than Hẳn is absent, yeah? Can I write absent? Because I can't get any information. Okay, Vô Thi Than Hẳn is absent. So that's the absent one, yeah? Dung Minh Hiu. Do I say Dung or do I say Zung? Zung Minh Hiu. Minh Hiu. Is Minh Hiu here? Dung Minh Hiu. Absent too. Minh Hiu. Dung Minh Hiu. Does anybody know Dung Minh Hiu? Do you know? Let's have a look. Show everyone. Dung Minh Hiu. Don't know. Has no friends. Dung Minh Hiu. Can't see. Oops, I haven't looked at all of them. No, can't see Dung Minh Hiu. Maybe absent. I'm wondering because I have 28, including me. So I have 27 students, but I've already got 2 absent. So I don't understand that. Yes. Say that again.
It means your screen is cut off and it's not show all the people in the list. It just only.
Yeah, I know it's not showing all the people because it would be very small if I showed all the people. But I'm trying to. Oh, I see what you were talking about. Yeah, I'm trying to move it. I just moved it. Has it moved? I'm going backwards and forwards, and that's moved now on your screen. Yeah, because I'm looking at on your screen now. I can see Vô Thi Than Hẳn is absent. And Dung Minh Hiu is also absent, yeah? Now I can see them on the screen, I moved it, yeah? So, Dung Minh Hiu is also absent, yeah? So we've got 2 absent. Is that right? And then Nguyen Kim Hoan.
Yes.
Nguyen Kim Hoan is here. Kim Hoan, yeah? And Nguyen Thi Niu Nga.
Yes.
Is here, so they are present. And then Nguyen Thi Niu Ngọc.
Yes.
Yes, is here. And then Nguyen Van Minh Tham. Yes. I'm moving the screen now. So it should move on your screen as well. How about that? Oops. So now we got to Vu Thi Tan Tui.
Yes.
Yes, you are here. And Nguyen Ngọc Minh Thử.
Yes.
Minh Thử is here. Chao Thi Ngân Yang.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, okay, good. Phan Kim Ngân.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Kim Ngân is here. Phu Tui Xuan Mai.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Can you see the screen move? Quyên Thanh Ngân.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Quyên Thuy Chang.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Thuy Chang is here. Lê Đậu Minh Thư.
I'm here.
Yes, okay, good. Trung Thành Đáp.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, I'm moving the screen so you should see the last ones. Bùi Minh Quan.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Đăng Phúc Nam.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Nguyên Phi Nhung.
Yes.
Yes. Hoàng Khảo Quốc Tuấn.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, good. Quy Quốc Viet.
Yes, I'm here.
Good. Canon Nguyên Khang Linh.
Yes, I'm here.
And is here. Lê Ngọc Thuyên. Lê Ngọc Thuyên.
Yes, I'm here.
Good. And Nguyen Long Hai and.
Yes, I'm here.
Good. So I have got 26 on there, and 2 are absent. I mean, there are 28 names, as you might be able to see. There are 28 names, but 2 people are absent in the middle there. Vo Thi Tan Hang is absent, and Young Min Hyu is absent. Yeah, is that right? But I've got 28 people in this meeting, including me. So I've got 27 people there. So one of you is either one of those 2 people I put absent, or you're an extra person. Do we have an extra person who is not on that list? Here, because I'm looking at the number 28. There are 28 people here now. So I've only put 26 present because I got 2 absent out of 28. And that includes me. So 27 of you other people, 1 of you, I did not write on the list. Is that because you are an extra person, or do you know? Do we have one extra person?
It's because when you sharing your screen, it's also count as a person.
Is it? Oh, it might be. I am not that good at this game. I know that it includes me. Oh, I see. It might include me twice. Maybe you mean that, because it says me as the meeting host and me as a presentation.
Yes, that's what you see.
I see what you mean.
Yes.
So the others, are there 26 then? Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you're right. So we have actually got only 26 people, because it says 28, but 1 is me and 1 is me doing a presentation. Okay. Yeah, sorry, it's amazing to me that the young people are so good at this technology stuff. Because, I didn't have this when I was young. I didn't start to use a PC until about 22 years ago, because I did a master's course in Korea, and I had to learn how to type to do, my homework and eventually my dissertation thesis. And that's when I learned about personal computers. I studied engineering at King's College in London University, and we had a computer room. But in those days, a computer room is a really big room, about 10 by 10 meters, yes, so about 100 square meters, and most of the room, 90%, is a huge machine that makes a big noise. And then you have to learn programming. We learned Fortran 4 programming. You have these big cards, and you stack them up in a big stack about 1 meter long, and you feed the cards into the computer, and then about 30 minutes later, if you are lucky, the computer gives you a big paper printout, and it will run your program or whatever it is. Yeah, that's what a computer was when I went to university. So it's changed a little bit. That's in the late 1970s. But so it's changed a bit since then. When I did the master's degree 20 plus years ago, we had to actually use PCs, and it was a big thing then. We had files which were plastic, and we had to store things on these plastic and metal files that we push in and push out of the computer. Not even like the floppy disks or whatever they're called now, the video recorders. And we didn't have USBs. Now everybody knows about USBs and so on. So it's changed a lot, these kind of technology, and no doubt it will change more. Okay, yeah, so we've got 2 people absent. Do you know about those absent people? Are they in the class, or are they just absent today? Or we don't know? I'm talking about these 2 here. Vo Ti Tan Hang and Yung Min Hyu. We don't know about them. You don't know about them? Maybe they dropped out or they're just absent today. We don't know, yeah. But okay, we'll see. I need to save that, yeah. We'll see if they come next week, because our class is straightforward, so we'll do that again next week, yeah. Okay, good. So everybody happy so far? We need to go back to this, yeah. Okay, that's a tab name. Yeah. Okay, so back to the book story. So number 2 here, it's got 5 numbers. Can you tell me what type of business are these businesses? So number 1 says doctors, lawyers, and architects. What type of business do you think they are? So we've got 5 choices, yeah? They could be a sole trader, they could be a partnership, they could be a franchise, or they could be a private limited company or a public limited company. What do you think for number 1? Doctors, lawyers, architects?
So for me, I think that they might want to have a partnership business. Usually, like lawyer or doctor, they are expertise in their area, so they want to collaborate with someone will taking care of another stuff for them, like paper, doing paperwork, and they just want to focus on their expertise. Usually, I think that partnership does. In Vietnam, there's a lot of doctors open their own clinic by themselves, so they may can have a sole trader. So that's what I think.
Yeah, so that's probably a good answer. They could be sole traders. I mean, often the doctors work for hospitals in the daytime and then they have their own business in the evening. That seems to be the case here, partly because the hospitals don't pay very much money. Yeah, yeah, so they could be sole traders, they could be partnerships. If they get a bit bigger, I mean, I'm thinking more of the architects and lawyers, then I don't know if they can be limited companies, but they can be partnerships or something, yeah. Okay, number 2 then. Independent shops, garages, hotels, restaurants. What kind of business are they? I mean, if you look at the first one, it says independent shops. So in that case, it's going to be a sole trader or a partnership, yeah? Because it's independent, so it cannot be a franchise. But the garages, and garages means kind of repair shop. So again, sole trader or partnership. Hotels, restaurants.
I think they can also have a private limited company.
Yeah, hotels and restaurants, they could be a sole trader, they could be a partnership, they could be a franchise, they could be a private limited company. It's usually one of those 4, isn't it? Yeah. And the very big hotels could be public limited companies, I think. So, I mean, there could be any of those 5, but just the hotels and so on, yeah. And the big restaurant in the big hotels. And then number 3, opticians, car rentals, sandwich shops. So, you know, the people who make your sandwiches or whatever, they are usually just a sole trader or family business, so. Car rentals or opticians could be a partnership, sole trader partnership or something. And number 4, plumbers, photographers, electricians. What kind of business are they? A similar thing, yeah? They could be sole traders, just work for themselves. They could be partnerships. It's usually that, yeah, sole traders or partnerships, or they could work for a limited company. And the last one, multinationals, manufacturers, and hotel chains. What kind of business are they? So multinationals, they are usually public limited companies, yeah? But manufacturers, it depends what they're making, how big are they? manufacturer could be a partnership or a private limited company. If it's very big, it could be a public one, but it's probably a partnership or a private limited company. Hotel chains could be a franchise or private limited company. Usually those two, franchise or private limited, I think. Now that's okay, everybody okay? Look at the organizational chart, number 3, for the private limited company, yeah? At the top, it says president, or it also says CEO, chief executive officer. They could be the same person, yeah? In fact, a private limited company only needs to have one director. It must have a boss of the company, one director. But they don't need to have anything else. They need to submit records and they need to follow certain legal guidelines, but they need to have some shareholders, but they only really need one director. So president, CEO, whatever. I mean, they've also added in these things like finance director, HR director, marketing, operations, and information systems. That's a new thing, information systems, because of the computing world. And then they've got at the bottom the individual departments: accounts, payroll, recruitment, training, marketing, sales, R&D, production, supply chain, and IT. So have a look here. Number 1, write who is in charge of. Okay, A, money. Who is in charge of money?
Finance director.
Yeah, we guess the finance director because that's his job title, yeah. Okay, long-term strategy. Who is in charge of long-term strategy?
Maybe CEO.
Yeah, that seems to be the case because the private company has to have one boss. They have to have a director, and often the director has a secretary, but you know, the director, the CEO, is the only person who can organize the whole company, yeah? So I think the CEO or whatever has to do long-term strategy. Okay, C, manufacturing. Who is in charge of manufacturing?
Operation director.
Well, if you look at the operations there, it's got 3 things. It's got R&D and production and supply chain. So I think they are 3 different activities that the operations director supervises. The actual person in charge of manufacturing is probably the production manager, whoever is directly responsible for production. So usually they have a production manager or something, which is quite a high-stress job, yeah? Okay, D, communication. And what does communication mean? I guess it means communication inside the company. Because, you know, there is communication with customers, which the sales people in particular have to do. But I guess it means communication inside the company. So who is in charge of that?
So I believe usually the human resources department will in contacting with the employees. They will have to have a relationship with the employee. I think we could check like are they making any progress or are they happy with them?
Yeah, if it's communication with employees, it could be the HR people. I mean, all of these people have to communicate with each other, yeah? So actually, communication is such a broad-based topic. I would say, again, that ultimately the CEO, the director at the top, is responsible or in charge of communication because all of these people have to communicate things in some various ways. And then E, managing the company. That's also one of these rather broad-based general topics. There's only one boss of the company, the person at the top. Again, who the CEO is in charge of managing the company, because all of these things have to work together. And then F, employees. Who is in charge of employees?
Human resource director.
Yeah, the HR, the human resources, because they look after the employees. Okay, and G, data management.
Maybe the information system director.
Yeah, that's the one on the right, the information systems director. So that's a fairly new thing, because now computers are so important that we have people who manage the data, and that's an important part of any company now. Okay, good. So that's number one. And then on the right, number two, it says write the name of the department that A, invents new products. So most of these are on the bottom line. What department invents new products?
I think it's R&D department, research and development department.
That's right, yeah. That's what they do. R&D, research and development. Their job is to invent new products or services. B, contacts customers. What department is that?
It is marketing department.
Can you say that a little bit louder?
It is marketing department. Marketing department.
There are two. If you look at the marketing director, he's in charge of marketing and sales. So it's got to be one of those two. Do you think it's marketing or sales?
I think it's marketing.
The marketing department contacts customers. I mean, I think the marketing department develops markets, but the people at the front or the more on the interface, I think, are usually, aren't they, the salespeople? The salespeople's job is to go out to find new customers and maybe also to maintain existing customers. Whereas marketing's job is to promote products in the market and develop the market. So you are kind of right. Yeah, marketing might talk to customers, but I think it's usually the salespeople whose job is to contact the customers, and that's why you have to be a certain kind of person to be a good salesperson. You have to be very good with people. Okay, C, hires new staff. What department is that? Hires new staff.
So it's recruitment.
Yeah, recruitment. That's what recruitment means, to get new people. Yeah, good. D, pays the salaries. What department pays the salaries?
So I know that the salary will be in charge by the finance sector. But I didn't know between what is the difference between accounts and payroll. So I'm not really sure which one.
Yeah, okay. So anybody tell us what's the difference between accounts and payroll? So I'm looking at the wrong thing. D, pays the salaries. That's probably the payroll department, because they deal with money that's paid to the employees. But the accounts department deals with the suppliers and the customers' money, the profit and loss assessment and so on. So the accounts deals with paying suppliers and receiving money from customers, I think. So payroll is just inside the company for the employees, whereas accounts is profit and loss on a bigger scale outside the company. So E, organizes product promotion. What is E? Which department for E?
I believe it's marketing department.
Marketing, yeah. So that's what the marketing does. Promotes new products. F, helps employees develop new skills. What department is that?
Training department.
Say that again.
Training department.
Yeah. Training. Good.
Training.
And then G, solves computer problems.
In the information technology
Yeah, information technology, IT, yeah. HP suppliers, suppliers.
I think it's go to account department.
Yeah, I think it's accounts department. Because if you are a supplier, then you will send them an invoice for money. It's called an invoice. That's an important document. If you have your own business, you have to know how to write an invoice, and it asks them to pay you. So the accounts department collect the invoices and make the payments. But also the supply chain people have to order new raw materials or whatever. But there's a bit of a difference between doing the ordering and paying the money. So I think probably accounts, yeah. And then I organize logistics. Organize logistics. Do you know logistics?
I think it's a supply chain department.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So logistics means transport and your supplier and what happens between the supplier and the customer. The movement of resources is logistics. So yeah, for transport and so on. That's the supply chain people have to order new materials and so on. That's what happened in the pandemic. The supply chain collapsed because the communications between the suppliers and the distributors was broken down. Yeah, okay, good. So there's listening exercise number 4, and there are 4 people talking about their jobs. So I'm going to let me do them one at a time. By the way, the glossary, are you okay with the words here? Entrepreneur, hire, human resources, joint venture, logistics, share, shareholder, strategy, supply chain. If you want to know those words, again, go to the glossary on page 150. Any questions so far? Oops, I've done 2 pages at the end. Okay, so I'm going to play, I'll do them one at a time, and they want you to answer these questions. Which department does this person work in? What does the person do for a job? And does that person like their job? Those 3 questions, okay? So from number 2 to number 5. Now. Okay, listen carefully.
Track 2. Speaker 1. Hi, I'm Michael. I'm a product engineer. I love working in R&D. I test new products and find solutions to technical problems. It's my dream job.
Okay, that was Michael. Which department does he work in? Maybe you need to see the departments. Can you see them now? Is that good enough? Yeah. Which department does Michael work in?
So I heard that he worked in research and development department, R&D.
Yeah, good, R&D. What does he do? What does he actually do?
So I'm not really sure about the answer, but I heard about something like he worked in a product engineer. Is it right?
Yeah. Let's just have a quick listen again. Oops, where am I? Oh, this one. I'll play it again.
Track 2. Speaker 1. Hi, I'm Michael. I'm a product engineer. I love working in R&D. I test new products and find solutions to technical problems. It's my dream job.
So what does he do? You're right, he is a product engineer, but what does he say that he does?
So he tests new products and find solutions for technical problems.
Yeah, good, exactly. That's what he said, yes. Does he like his job?
He says it's his dream job, so I think he will love it.
Yeah, so usually when we say it's my dream job, that means that we love it, we like it very much, yeah? Or, but if I have a dream, usually it's a bad dream. But when we say it's a dream job, we mean it's very good usually. But in real life, most of my dreams are not very good. They're crazy, so bad dreams. But okay, here it means very good. Okay, so let's try to do the next one, number 2. That would be this one, I think. Oops.
Track 3.
Speaker 2.
Speaker 2.
Hello, my name's Jessie. My job is hard. There's lots of stress. I work in purchasing. It's part of supply chain. I'm responsible for buying the materials we need for production.
Jessie, okay. Which department does Jessie work in? Could you hear it?
I heard that she say about working in supply chain.
Yeah, it's part of the supply chain. Do you know what her department is called? Maybe I need to play it again.
Purchasing.
Yes, say that again.
She work in purchasing.
Purchasing, yeah, means buying. Purchasing, okay, good. And what does she do in purchasing? What does she do?
I heard one of her tasks is buying material. Yeah. I think there's more than that.
Yeah, buying the new materials or something. And does she like her job?
I heard that she say it's a hard job and it's very stressful. So I think she didn't like it.
Maybe she doesn't like it very much. You're right, because it's stressful and difficult, yeah. Okay, that's number 2. Let's have a go at number 3.
Track 4. Speaker 3.
3.
Hi, I'm Pete. I work in accounts, and it's my job to check that customers pay their bills. I receive payments, and I enter the information on the computer. If customers don't pay, I call them. They're usually very friendly, so yes, it's a good job.
Okay, that's Pete. Which department does he work in? Accounts, yeah. What does he do?
He usually check the customer to pay the bill. If they don't pay, he call the customer.
That's right, that's right. Does he like his job?
Based on his experience, he say that most of his customer is friendly, so he's quite like his job.
Yeah, okay, so it's quite good. Yeah, good. Okay, last one, number 4. Last one.
Track 5. Speaker 4. Sorry, I don't have much time to talk. I'm always busy. I'm Kim and I work in sales. It's my job to call customers and sell our products. I'd really like to work in marketing, but the money's better in sales.
Okay, that's Kim. Which department does she work in?
She works in sales.
Yes, she works in sales. What does she do?
She contacts to the customers and sells the company's products.
Yes, that's right. Does she like her job?
Well, she said that she prefers working in marketing, but she thinks she's better in sales. So I think maybe she quite like it. Very like it.
Well, okay, why does she say it's better to work in sales?
She said that she maybe work like good at sales. Maybe she said like that.
You're nearly there. I mean, yeah, she said she prefer to work in marketing, but there's one reason why she, on the other hand, prefers to work in sales. What is the reason that she prefers to work in sales?
I didn't heard the reason very clearly. I heard Jim mention about money. It's going to the sale.
So is the money better in sales or is the money better in marketing?
It's better in sales.
Yeah, she said the money's good or something like that. So she would rather work in marketing because it would be an easier job. But the money is better in the sales department, so that's why she does it, yeah. Okay, good. So that's interesting because it gives us a kind of compromise. We cannot always have our ideal job. We have to be practical as well. Okay, that's only 2 pages. It's usually a bit slow. Okay, business fundamentals, profit and loss. Now, number 1, it says match the graphs with situations in the box. Can I get it on the page is the question. There are 3 situations at the top there. Can you see? Yeah. Break even, make a loss, and make a profit. Have a look at the graphs 1, 2, and 3. And try to tell me, number 1, which graph, the number 1 graph, which heading would you put on that? Is it break even, make a loss, or make a profit? For number one.
For the graph number one, I see that the number of the sale is increased. So I think that it's make profit.
Yeah. So the sales on the vertical axis and then the time in years, is it? Yeah, on the horizontal axis. So as time is going on, the sales are going up. So I think that's the make a profit. And then number two, what do you think is the heading for number two graph?
I think it's break even.
Good, break even, because there's a point, the break even point, and above that point they're making a profit, but below that point they're making a loss. And if you can see there, they're talking about costs. So the costs are very important to determine the break even point. We have to make more money than we pay out in costs, variable costs and fixed costs. Okay, and then number three, what do you think the graph in number three is? Down the bottom left here, you've got sales, and then you've got months in the year, January, February, March, April, May. What kind of graph is that, do you think? Make a loss, good, because the sales are going down as the time goes on, so looks like make a loss, yeah? So those situations are important. And number two then, match these reasons with the situation. Number one, prices are too high. The company has stock that it can't sell. What situation is that? Out of those three. 2.1. Prices are too high. The company has stock that it can't sell. Is that break even, make a loss, or make a profit? Which one?
I guess the company make a loss.
Yeah, make a loss, yeah. Prices are too high, make a loss. How about number two then? The company's costs are high, almost the same as its prices. What situation is that?
It's break even.
Yeah, that's the break-even point, yeah, where the costs and the prices are nearly the same. And then number three, customers are happy to pay high prices for beautiful products.
I think make a profit.
Make a profit, good, yeah. Everybody happy about that? Okay, so we got to Eric here, Eric White. He says, read the first paragraph of the article. What does Eric sell? Just read the first 3 lines. The first paragraph means just 1, 2, 3 lines. What does Eric sell? Any idea? What does Eric sell? If you read the first 3 lines, the first paragraph is only 3 lines. Eric White, and then it talks about what he does. What does he sell?
So Eric sell personalized USB flash drive.
Good, yeah. Personalized USB flash drives. So they've only existed for about 20 years. When I first had a computer, there were no USBs. They were invented in the 80s and 90s, but they didn't really become products until the 2000s and after then, yeah. But this is what Eric does as a business. Number 2, is this his day job? Is it a day job? Okay, so you have to read the, does it tell you in the first paragraph? Yes, it does. Is it a day job? Is it Eric's day job?
I think it's not, because the article say that he worked in the evening and at the weekend.
Yeah, so it's not his day job. It's not the usual job he does in the day. It's an extra job that he does in the evenings and weekends. So it's not his day job. How do his customers get their flash drives? Any idea?
So he mailed the flash drive to the customer.
And how do they get them? How do they receive those flash drives?
So is it usually there's a mailman deliver the post mail to each house every day? Is it
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it says, which sentence is this? Number 3, 1, 2, 3. Each flash drive costs Eric €12 to make and mail to his customers. So he sends them by the postal service, by the mail. I don't know whether it's public service or a private company, but he sends them in the mail. Yeah? Okay, everybody happy so far? Read the rest of the article. This is number 4 underneath. Read the rest of the article and answer these questions. And then mark the points on the graph below. So there are 5 questions here. How much are Eric's fixed costs? How much is Eric's turnover? How much are Eric's variable costs? How much are Eric's total costs? And mark the point where the total costs meet the turnover. This is the more difficult thing, yeah? Let's see if we can do that, and then we're on to the last page. So, okay, how much are Eric's fixed costs? And it gives you 2 cases here. If he sells A, 0, or B, 1,000 flash drives per year. If you read the actual article, it gives you an example. Eric has fixed costs or overheads of €500 a month. If he sells 100 flash drives or none at all, Eric still has to pay €500 every month. So they are his fixed costs, yeah? So I think Eric's fixed costs are €500 a month. And so 12 months in the year, that means in 1 year, his fixed costs are €6,000. 2, how much is Eric's turnover if he sells A, 0, or B, 1,000 flash drives? It gives you an example in the 3rd paragraph. Eric sells 500 flash drives per year, so his turnover is €12,000. That's because, why is that? Because each flash drive costs Eric €12 to make and to mail. And he sells them for €24 each. So his gross profit is €12. So if he sells 500 times 12 is 6,000. A minute. Oh, sorry, his turnover means he sells the flash drives for €24. So his turnover is €12,000. That's the money that he gets from selling them. But then he has variable costs, and the costs of the goods are €12 a piece. So the costs are €6,000. And so turnover minus the cost of goods sold minus the fixed costs is 12,000 minus 6,000 minus another 6,000 for the fixed costs. So that's €0, yeah? So in other words, that's the break-even point if he sells 500 a year. So if he sells less than 500, he makes a loss. If he sells more than 500, he makes a profit. So, Okay, sorry, number 2 asks for turnover. Yeah? So turnover, if he sells 0, then it's 0. If he sells 1,000, then his turnover is how much? 24,000 euros. How much are Eric's variable costs if he sells A 0 or B 1,000 flash drives? The variable costs are 12 euros per piece. So for 1,000, that's 12,000 euros costs, variable costs. Or, well, if he sells 0, then it's 0. But if he sells 1,000, then it's 12,000, yeah? How much are Eric's total costs, the fixed costs plus the variable costs? The total costs, if he sells 0, then he still has to pay the fixed cost, which is 6,000 euros, yeah? The total cost, yeah? So, and if he sells 1,000, then his fixed costs are the same, 6,000, and the variable costs are how much?
12,000.
12,000. So his total cost is 18,000, yeah? Yeah. But he still makes profit on that. That's the costs, yeah. But his turnover is 24,000, so he still made 6,000 profit. Mark the point where the total cost meets the turnover, and what is this called? The place where the total costs meets the turnover, that's the example here when he sells 500, yeah? The turnover is 12,000, but the total costs are variable cost 6,000 and fixed cost 6,000. So that's the break-even point. Did I explain that well enough? Any questions about that? Glossary, break-even, see, what's that called? COGS. That's another collocation. COGS, cost of goods sold. Everybody happy about that? Let me check the words. Okay. Any questions about that? No. Okay. So the last page, see how slow I am. The last page, we do 3 things here. Making a cover letter, a CV or resume. In America, it's usually called a resume. In Britain, it's called a CV, which is Latin for curriculum vitae. And role-playing an interview. Those 3 things we're going to do here. Now, here is Ben, and it says, which internships can Ben apply for? It's got 4 possibilities. An admin assistant with an oil company, a logistics administrator with the goods exchange. Do you know internships? So internship means a kind of basic training. Usually in Vietnam, the private, I don't know if the public universities do this much, but anyway, the private universities try to get their students to work for a company for a couple of months or so, and they get paid a small amount of money, and that's called an internship. So it's a kind of basic experience of work experience. And that is useful for people who have no work experience because they can put it on their CV or on their resume, and then employers will be more interested in employing them. Because there are 2 things that are important on a CV or resume. Let's just look at the sections here. So the first section about Ben Brown, that's just biodata, the basic information, yeah? How old is he and what is his nationality, where does he live? Okay, but the next 2 sections are important, the education and experience, work experience. A lot of students here have no work experience, so that makes it difficult for them to get their first job. If they do an internship just for a couple of months, that gives them experience, which can help them to get a job. The other sections are responsibility, for example, what did you do in school or college or something, and skills, what are you good at, you can fill those in. But it's important to try to get some experience, so an internship helps you to get work experience. On the right, you've got a cover letter, dear Miss Finley, so you can write to somebody and ask them if they can give you an internship or something, which is a basic kind of training. So here it says, let's just do quickly. Read the CV. Which internships can Ben apply for? What do you think he can apply for? And it does say internships with an S, so I guess it wants more than one. If you look at the CV, he has done some work with L'Oreal and as a technician, a university counseling. What do you think he could apply for?
So he have been experience as a trainee in market analyst with L'Oreal. So I think that he can work at marketing department. But he also say that I will be happy to accept any position in logistics and or marketing. So I believe that he can work in both of department. And he also have some strength, some experience. He say that he worked volunteer as a telephone counselor listening to student problems. So like for this kind of experience, he might can be a sales department if he wants to.
So gives you 4 examples: admin assistant for an oil company, logistics administrator for a cosmetic manufacturer, technician in civil engineering, or analyst on the stock market. Which of those can he apply to? Which of those internships? I think he can apply to be a logistics administrator because he has experience with a cosmetic company, and in the cover letter it says he wants to work for a cosmetics company. So yeah, he could work in logistics. He could work as a market analyst, possibly for the stock exchange. I think those two. So as a logistics administrator or a training analyst, maybe. I think those two. Technician in civil engineering, he doesn't know about civil engineering, I don't think. Admin assistant, administration, that's kind of HR. He's got a little bit of experience dealing with people's problems. He might be able to do the first one as well, but I'm not sure. But not the technician, but the other 3 maybe. In the cover letter, he's asking to be work for a cosmetics manufacturer, maybe in marketing or something. Okay, so that's what you do in the cover letter. You have to say, it says read the cover letter, number the topics. So in order of what he says, education, he talks about his education in the first sentence. And the type of work required. He wants to work to get experience with a cosmetics manufacturer. He has some experience as a market analyst, and he wants to get more experience. Yeah. So talk about yourself and talk about what kind of experience you have or what you think you could do, and then talk about your skills and abilities. What I have to finish now because I ran out of time as usual. What I want you to do is this. Think about or write out a very basic CV, resume, and try to describe what kind of internship you would like to do. So you have to say what you are studying, you have to say what kind of experience you want, and why do you want to do. So you have to lay out kind of objective. What is your objective? What do you want to do? What have you got in terms of skills and experience that you think will enable you to do it? Sometimes they put that as part of the CV, the resume, they put objectives, but it's probably a good idea to put it in the beginning of the cover letter. What kind of internship do you think you would like to do? And that's what I want you to tell me. That's your homework, if you like. That's what I want you to tell me for the beginning of class. Next time means next Tuesday. We haven't really done the interview thing. I'm not sure if we have time to do that, but think about that. What kind of internship would you think you would be suitable for? What kind of internship could you do? And okay, we're going to start Unit 1 next Tuesday, and that talks about internships in the first bit here. Any questions about that? So I just want some kind of idea so that I can ask you next class, what kind of internship would you like to do? And then you give me some reasons, some support for why you would want to do a blah, blah, blah type of internship. Any questions about that? So that's a kind of homework, yeah? So I'm going to ask you at the beginning of class next Tuesday, what kind of internship do you think you could do? So you need to think about that, write out a basic kind of CV resume, and then think about how you would write the cover letter. What would your objectives be? What kind of internships do you think you could do? And try to support that. You know, education is one thing, but experience and your kind of basic skills is another thing. You have to put them together in a practical sense and think, what kind of internship would I be good for? Try to justify it for yourself, yeah? Can you understand what I'm talking about? Any questions about that? Okay, so we're going to do that and get into Unit 1 next Tuesday, yeah? Any questions about anything? Oh, I forgot. So, you know, this cover letter is a basic cover letter, and it says, where does it say that? Writing and role play, so number 4 at the bottom. Write your own CV and put some experience and skills and so on. Look at page 122 to help you. And then try to write a similar cover letter. Okay, so if you look on page 122, which is a different page here. Yeah, that's the basic cover letter, but it's the same as Ben, what's his name? Yeah? So it has your bio data, and then your education, and then work history, any kind of responsibility you've had, and your skills. So that's on page 122, yeah. But it's the same as that letter that Ben has, yeah. Okay. So I want you to write a basic cover letter and decide what kind of internship would be good for you based on your education and any experience you have and your personal skills or responsibilities or anything that you've done up to now. What would be a good internship for you? So I'll ask you that next time. Any questions about that? I've gone over about 10 minutes. Okay, so I'll give you that to think about and tell me about next Tuesday at 1:30. Okay, so see you here, same link next Tuesday. If you do have any problems, what can you do? I mean, just in case you have a serious problem, what can you do? Just in case you have a serious problem, if you need to contact me, you can contact me here. Can you see that? That's my email address, nihubi@yahoo.com. They are the first 2 letters of my name, so NI for Nicholas, HU is Hugh, that's my middle name, Hugh, and BI for Bishop. I got that email about 22.5 years ago. There was a cosmetics, what do you call it, beauty salon. There was a beauty salon in North China, and they wanted to be Nihu B because it sounds a bit like a Chinese beauty salon.